And I'll spotlight my table. All right. So welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. So I picked a layout tonight that utilized kind of a border idea that I shared back during our NSD, but I wanted to kind of expand upon it. So the layout tonight was really focusing on making these two borders. And I thought the reason I like these is because I like having borders, and we've made a few borders here, but I don't always use them because I typically will plan out my layouts differently. So I wanted to start out with the borders tonight. So a couple of tips on the borders. So with the fact that we're using two different borders on this layout, you want one to be larger than the other, because if you make them both the same size, your eye doesn't know which one to go and take a look at. So I chose my main border with this title that runs all the way across, and I put some title and some embellishments all the way over on the left side, and then I put some complementary embellishments over on the right. And then I chose this one to be a little less than half, right around half the width of this border. So picking your border cartridges, I don't think it really matters what you're going to use. I really did like this decorative arches punch, which is what I used on this original layout, or sorry, diamond arches punch. It's diamond because it's got the little diamond shape. So I'm going with this one, but this time for this chain, I'm actually going back and pulling an older one out, and I'm going to use this crystal chain punch, which is a little bit different because I think it'll complement my photos a little bit better. Color choices. So depending on what you're going to use as your background, you may probably want to pull out some of the background paper first, because at least the way I did this layout, you leave a whole lot of room for matting my photos. So you want some color that is going to complement your photos and not look too light or too dark. Even though you're not going to see a lot of it, you don't want it to be the focal point. So what I did was I went back to the weekend and I pulled out my scraps. So these were my scraps from when I did the layouts with the Keep the Faith for our Use the Collection. So I've got a scrap here. I'm going to use this as the next layer. I'm going to use this as the very top layer. So I've kind of figured out that this is what I want to use. And then on my vertical stripes, I'm going to use this as my background. And then this is my next layer, and this is my top layer. So I'm using up some of my scraps because I have them and I think they're going to work. So the other thing that I wanted to share was that I'm trying something new, and I'll take any feedback you guys have on this, is trying to make my own sketches using the Artisan software. So I've attempted to put all of the dimensions on here so you can have them as your sketch. But again, this is the first time I'm doing this, so I don't know if it's clear, or I think this one down here at the bottom is really small and hard to see, but I'll learn from this. So if you have any comments on this, I'd appreciate it. So I'm going to start by making this top border first. So if you want to pull out your paper that you're going to use as your base, and then we'll kind of build it from the bottom up. So for this one, can't really see people. This is the top border. I'm going to lower this down a little bit, so don't be staring at the screen because it's probably going to jiggle and move. There we go. All right, so the base is going to be 2.5 inches by 12 inches. So I'm just going to use our trimmer, and I'm going to do 2 of them that are 2.5 inches wide and the full sheet of paper. And then I'm going to put this aside because I'm going to be punching. So that's going to be my base. And then I selected this paper to use for my diamond arches. And I just want to point out, if you're using a strip that is really narrow, this is too narrow to use for this, but if it's too narrow such that when it's sitting inside your punch, you cannot see where this line up with the line on the edge, you can always stick a Post-it note on it to try to basically give yourself a little bit more depth here. So if you have a fairly narrow piece of paper that you're going to be punching and it doesn't stick out, you can put a Post-it note on the edge, and that allows you to use up even some of your strips. I'm going to use the diamond arches border. And again, the way you like to use these is you want to line up the edge of your paper with the line on the edge, the black line on the edge of your punch. It's actually been a while since we've used one of these border punches. And then you're going to slide it down until your notches line up, and punch, and then just slide it down again. And this is actually a very nice strip for me to use at the bottom of my layout. So I am actually going to save this little strip, that's the extra piece, from my punch poop. It looks like we have somebody else joining us. And with this border punch, you want it to be 2 inches from the edge. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this off right now. And then punch again. So I'm lining up the top of the peaks of the arches. That's 2 inches. And then I'm going to punch again for my other border. So what are other people using? Are they using diamond arches? Are you going to use the rainbow from the border maker system? I think Peg had the mandala, but I don't know. Are you punching, Peg? Or did you decide to wait?
I'm not right now. I'm watching because I cut my first one. I did the 2-inch one. So I'm watching right now.
Okay. What's anybody else using?
I'm trying the diamond one with you.
Oh, nice. How about you, Camilla?
I'm just watching.
Okay. All right.
I am going to use the geometric one when I do it, I think. I haven't had a chance to play with it.
I think that one will look really neat.
Yeah, I do too.
So 2 inches for that one. So right now my 2 borders are looking like that. And again, I decided to save the extra piece from there because I'm thinking about using that along the bottom where I have that really narrow sticker. I don't have any really narrow stickers from Keep the Faith left over. So the only ones I have are much wider. So now I'm going to go ahead and do my border maker cartridge, which I pulled out an old one. I'm using crystal chain. And you can probably use any border maker cartridge. I think I specified in the instructions that I thought it was easier to use a chain. However, as long as you use something that is, and you trim it fairly narrowly, so it will fit on your other border, it's fine. So with the dimensions that I use on the other one, you really want it to be probably maximum of 1 inch wide. And so this is what this one's going to look like. I kind of like how that turned out.
Well, that's pretty.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't know until you're done. And again, I'm going to save that little piece that was from that border. I might want to make use of it at the bottom. Everybody's so quiet. Right. Now, since I'm going to use the same border maker cartridge for my vertical strips, I'm going to go ahead and just punch those now while I've got the cartridge in and I'm punching because this is the same paper I'm going to use for that. Off of my table. My fourth. Cheryl's already assembling her layout.
Well, she
Well,
said
I
she did
didn't-
it. She did it
I
ahead of
started
time.
ahead of time. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to keep up. But there's no questions, so
No, there are no questions.
making it easy on me. I didn't cut a border either with the, because I have this piece of paper that I ended up cutting instead.
That works.
So
Okay.
now I have to decide if I want to do another one in the middle, where you have it.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and assemble my top borders. Trying to get those all set up. I'm gonna pull out my wax paper covered sheet.
That punch is still for sale. Okay, good.
Yes, it is. It's been around for a little while.
I think I'm gonna order that one. That looks really nice.
And there's a lot of ideas floating out there on how to use it. So I think it's, at initial look, you don't think some of these things are as versatile as they really are.
What paper pack are you using there, Kari?
I'm using the scraps of Keep the Faith.
So that blue was in the Keep the Faith?
It is. It is.
Hmm.
Yeah. So the one blue here is this,
Okay,
and the other blue is this one.
that one is really nice.
I think I heard somebody else talking about how the Keep the Faith, they think a lot of people don't go to it because it is faith-based, but the papers are just really geometric and they're really nice. I mean, this definitely doesn't scream, anything. And
No.
this is so geometric that it could be a lot of stuff. And same with that. So that was the other reason where I was like, I'm going to try to use up some of my scraps and then use Keep the Faith and then not actually tear into any new paper tonight.
Well, we like using scraps.
Yeah, because I have so many scraps, right? So then lining it up using my photo mat or my 13 by 13 mat.
Hmm.
Okay, so I've kind of built those. I'm going to kind of wait until we get to closer to assembling our layout so we can pull out our stickers and embellishments before I finish that one up. So I'm going to go ahead and build our vertical border. So the vertical border, the base for that was 1.5 inches and the mat was 1.25. And it was less than 10.5 inches, but depending on what you want to do with it, if you want to run it touching the top mat or touching the bottom or stopping here, you might make some different choices as you go through. But if it's at least 10.5 inches long, it's going to be long enough. Right, so now to go back and sort my paper. So I've used that one. Decided I was going to use these because I have these as nice strips. And then I'm going to use that one. So these were going to be my base. So these were 1.5 inches. Again, this is just one of the strips I had left over from my Use the Collection with the Keep the Faith. That's 1.5. And then my mat behind it is going to be 1.25. Things. So 1.25. So that's going to basically be my mat for this, or for the border for that one. I'll go ahead and assemble those. All right. So then using our 13 by 13 inch mat, it's fairly easy to get these centered.
You move your mat up, Kari.
Yeah.
Perfect. Ooh, that's pretty.
All right.
Nice.
Okay, so now I'm just gonna kind of start getting it laid out on my papers, and we'll have some time to kind of get it lined up and see what we're thinking about for this title up here. The thing that I played around with and that I'm going to encourage you to play around with is looking at something that you have that you might be able to double mat as a title, pull out a sticker, and then pop it up with foam squares. So there's a couple of ways of doing this, and they both give different looks. So if you pop up this top sticker and have everything else flat, it's got one look. And if you pop up the entire thing, it has a slightly different look. So before you stick this down or look at what you're going to do, just give it a couple minutes of thought and kind of play around with it and see what you think, because where the shadow is, because you got a shadow when you pop that layer up, they have very different effects. So part of this border I used on this one, this was the bronze shimmer behind it, and one of the stickers with some of the paper that I thought was similar enough to what I'd been using on my border here that it wouldn't clash. It was still fairly light. So now I'm just going to start kind of assembling my page and seeing how it comes together, and then figure out what I'm going to do with that top sticker. So how are people's coming together? How are your punches going? How's the paper looking? Because I'm starting to feel like I'm all alone.
You're not alone.
You're not alone. I haven't started yet because I just decided on my papers because we all know I have this problem.
Okay. All right.
And I'm not talking because you're recording, and I was watching a recording, listening to myself saying, I'm never talking on a recording again.
Okay.
All right.
Now I'm
that's
hunting for
intimidating.
scraps.
Pardon?
I'm hunting for scraps.
Awesome.
You're never gonna guess what scraps I found.
Travelogue.
How did you know?
I don't know.
Mhm.
And I finally broke down and bought some Travelogue just recently.
I'm surprised there's any left.
Yeah, me too.
Can you hold up your vertical borders, Kari, so I could see, is it all three papers? So they're the same exact color on the top and that, right? Because your very back
Oh.
paper on that is not the same as what you used on the
It
top.
is not. It is not.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's the same here. I didn't use the exact same paper, and it was kind of what I had. I didn't, since I was using scraps, I didn't have enough of this brown to
Okay.
use that. So I decided to go with this one, which is this variegated one. It had a dark blue, a brown, a light blue, a gray, a light blue, and a really light gray. But
And then you'll put the brown at the top so it sort of flows better then.
yeah,
Okay.
Is the intention to use the same backing paper? Because the instructions don't appear that way.
I didn't use it on my original one, and I don't think it really matters. I think it kind of depends on what you're doing. When I did it, didn't really want to use the same backing paper because I felt that would be too much of this dark green, dark blue that I had here, but also it would allow me to have this orange that I have in my embellishment sticker up here. And also I had some orange over here, which allowed it to kind of tie into the page across the page. So I used the orange to try to help give me that one more color as I pulled across the page.
Nice. It
So
looks
I don't think it matters. I think you can use the exact same thing.
As long as both vertical strips are the same and both horizontal ones.
Yeah, I think if you do two totally different strips, I think you lose that cohesiveness of what's going on in the paper. And I think by tying the fact that your border cartridge chain is the same in all 4 strips, as well as your background, the fact that this background has this fancy embellishment along the one side and this one doesn't, I think by using the same paper, it helps tie it all together. But that's just my thought, and it may be completely wrong.
No, agreed.
Agree. We concur. Now that I put this all together, I don't like my background paper. Dang.
I think it looks great, except, well, you know, navy blue, a photo mat would probably pull it all together, right? I
That's what
love
I'm
navy
thinking, but
blue.
I'm also thinking, I don't, so I didn't do exactly what Kari did here because I had these camera things that I wanted to use. So now I'm wondering if I use your same idea, Kari, if I should cut another strip of these cameras and do something with that, or should I pull out the border maker
Yeah.
cartridge? I could use the camera border maker cartridge.
Yeah, you could. That would work out really nicely.
Or I could see if I have any more. Oh, I have these. Ooh.
And the way I designed this was that you could leave 4 of your photos original size. And then there's
Yeah, I like
spots for
that.
4 photos that were 4x4. But if you want to leave 1 as a journaling mat, I left one of the smaller ones over here as a journaling mat, but you could do that in any location.
I know.
So kind of depends on what your photos are like and what you've got. So I think I'm kind of looking like that. I'm going to go ahead and start trimming my photos down to 4x4. All right.
Looks good.
So I think before I adhere anything down, I'm going to kind of look around and look at some of my embellishments. I was actually pulling out some other embellishments or some other things to try to come up with something that I thought worked really well. Right. So I am going to pull out my cartridges or my custom cutting system for a shape here. I'm gonna say I already lost my map. So the other part of this was I wanted to do some double matting with the custom cutting system. So I am going to I'm gonna look at all my scraps again and see what I have. Because I have a lot of scraps still from my,
Can we see how you store your scraps? Are they right
Well-
next to you?
right now they're in a stack.
Oh,
Is there, I have one of my folders and I've got them all in here, but I pulled them all out to do this because I still have enough of to keep the faith left. So that could work. What else do I have? And I've got all the Post-it notes here from when I was recording the video. Of course, it's the last one in my bunch. So I've got that. That's not quite big enough. So I think I'm going to use the heart. Then I'm going to use the red blade on the outside because it's the smallest. And I'm going to use some of this one. And then I think I'm going to use green blade. Do I want to use no, I want to use the blue blade. That's the biggest. And then so I'm going to be using this sticker, this Do Small Things with Great Love, which is why I pulled out the hearts. So I'm looking at our custom cutting system to find an oval that I think will be really nice around that. So I think I'm going to use that second largest oval with the red blade around that. I'm gonna map that in blue. Oh, I'm looking at something like that now. All right. So I think I'm pretty far along, and I think now we're just to the point where there's going to be lots of gaps as I'm starting to stick things down. So I think before we stop the recording, I'll talk about our upcoming class. So we announced over the weekend that we're going to do a recipe template class, and it's called Templates, Tips and Techniques. And we're going to be showing a couple of our currently available recipe templates, and showing a couple of different ideas to use with each template. So we'll walk through one layout with each of the 3 templates, but we'll also show you ideas of things that you can do differently with the different layouts. So that information and that registration is already up. It's going to be another Saturday. Right now we've tentatively said 1 to 5, so similar to what we did last weekend, but it may be actually shorter as we develop the class more and think more about timing. So it may be shorter than that. And the class is going to be $15. So you'll be seeing some advertisements for that. And I know there's been some interest in some more things with recipe templates. So hopefully that you'll be interested in that and interested in joining us. So Colleen or Cheryl, do you guys have anything to show or anything else that you wanted to do?
No,
I'm good.
I don't. Did you get some of the new stuff, Colleen? Do you want to show? Did you get any of the botanical burst?
Yes, I
products?
did. I got the paper products. Yes.
Oh, you want to show them? I delayed
I
my
haven't
order
looked yet.
because, so the embellishments are on back order, or they're not shipped yet. So they're holding the orders. I don't know, they're holding some of the orders. If you ordered part of it, you got part of your shipment. Is that what happened, Colleen?
If you ordered the decorative bundle for Botanical Burst, they shipped you everything they had currently. And then when it comes in, they will ship the remainder. Unfortunately, Creative Memories has gotten caught. The stickers have been sitting in Chicago waiting for a truck to deliver it to the warehouse, and that's the problem.
So they will
So-
be here. I think they said on the 21st. So some people, they let the orders go through and they're going to ship them when they get them. And some of them, they turn the ordering off. So you can order the other stuff and then order those when they come. But also the cardstock buffet is going on right now. So there's some great exclusive cardstock colors that are out right now, and you can get an extra paper pack and a sticker pack and a paper pack right now.
Yep.
This is the most they have ever given away in the paper buffet, so it's a great deal.
So am I showing every paper or each pack? What do you think?
Do you want to just
have my-
show the packs?
Yeah, I don't have my overhead set up. I'm sorry, because that would be much
Okay,
better.
that's okay. Oh, all right, then we'll just.
Yeah, so
did
here's
you
the,
just are you spotlighted? Yes, okay.
here's the
Oh,
botanical
so
burst.
pretty. Love the pinks.
There are lots of pretty colors and they all go together with them. People are already doing layouts using all of the mix and match together.
Ah,
So here's the yellows. Like each one of them will have a similar design. There's always one that has a circle around,
that's pretty.
some florals, some very, oh, my camera is horrible. Can't see anything. Geometrics. A nice collection. And then they also have greens. And with the embellishments, you can build clusters that makes all the pieces go together. So here's all the green pieces. Is it as fuzzy for you guys as it is for me?
A little
Little bit.
fuzzy.
It is a little fuzzy.
Yeah, awful. Sorry about that. I guess that's low lighting.
We get the
So the-
idea though, so that's good.
Colleen, is the cardstock bundle coordinating with those colors?
You know, so I did notice that some of them seem to be coordinating with the new.
Yeah, some of them do, like,
collection.
here's the Botanical Burst Blue. And you, too bad you can't see, but there's a stunning hydrangea
Ooh,
wreath here.
Colleen got the stickers too. Lucky
Right,
duck.
because I ordered the day they were released.
So she got the stickers. I did order the cardstock when those stickers were available. So hopefully those are on their way.
Right, so here's the
Those are cute.
the letters that are in multiple colors that would go. You get 2 sheets of these sticker borders. 2 of the exact same, so you'll have these, they'll have matching. And then you get a rainbow one too.
Cool.
And
So
so that-
those we believe are going to be with if you order the entire decorative collection, you'll get those ABC 1, 2, 3 stickers and you'll get the border stickers as well for free. When that comes in, hopefully on the 21st.
You know, I feel like we've been very lucky that, you know, they've had a few
Yeah.
delays. But really, Creative Memories has done a really good job of staying on top of all of that. Considering appliances are 6 months to a year.
I have a friend who's like, I need a light bulb for my microwave and it's gonna take 6 months.
Oh, wow. So that's it.
Colleen,
Yes.
is your shirt boho escapes?
I know, right?
I know.
It's not. It happens to be
Oh,
one of my
look at
favorite
it.
shirts.
Oh.
And we did do a retreat with my upline and we did boho and I did wear this shirt. Like it matches.
Okay,
That's great.
Great. Awesome. Thanks for sharing those things. I think we're all set. Should I turn off the recording then?
Sure.
All right. Thanks, everybody.